Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to this Adobe Live Education Edition. Happy Friday! My name's Ann Cosma. I'm one of the education evangelists here at Adobe, coming to you from Southern California today. And y'all, I'm so excited to have my teammate across the way over in the UK. Hello, Nicole.
Hey Anne, what about you? Really delighted to be here. You know what? Friday evening vibes just leveled up because I get to spend a bit of time with you. So I'm buzzing to be here. Also, one of the education evangelists over here, and lots of love looking after the education community in this side of the pond in Europe.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited to collab with you on this. Friends tuning in, say hi in the chat. I have it open. Hello, Hannah. We know Remy Teaches is here. Friends, say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Share a shout out to your school or district. Let us know if you're excited because today we're talking dynamic designs. We're exploring animation, drawing, and layers inside Adobe Express. And Nicole, I'm so excited for this one because what we're really doing is transforming simple sketches, right? And we're turning
Mhm.
them into these vibrant animated landscapes, scenes. We're leveling up our creative skills, but really truly unlocking possibilities for what folks can do inside and outside the classroom to literally just use their imagination, inspire new possibilities and innovative ideas to share and showcase fun, learning, life, all the things.
You know what you just did? Nailed it. That's like absolutely it. So I want to give a shout out to my mighty colleague, our colleague Meredith Jones, because we learn as well, don't we? So when we were last all together at an on-site in San Francisco back in December, Meredith actually took us through some of these ways just to kind of answer that question that we get from teachers all the time, which is like, so when do I move from Express to some of the Pro Tools in Creative Cloud? Like when would I go to Fresco? When are my students ready for it? And Meredith was like, well, let's push Express to the limits. Here's what you could do. And we have a workaround for how you could do some layers, which is probably the first thing that people want to start doing whenever they want to go beyond an Express. So I'm really excited for this one. Really looking forward to collaborating as well to show how we can do ways of that with Adobe Express. So
Yeah.
let's get ready.
Okay, I'm so excited for this. We're going to pull up my screen first. And I want to talk about this too. Nicole, when I was a coach in my district, we talked a lot about like I'm sorry, like sketchnoting, not
Yeah,
screen
yeah.
noting, sketchnoting. My brain just went sideways with that word. But how doodling actually like can actualize like the
Mhm.
thinking and the conceptualization of things and crossing the sides of the brain from your creative and your analytical side, like all the different things. And so the drawing tool in Express is a very powerful tool. So I want to call out the drawing tool right on the screen. And I'm sorry, I got distracted by a comment. Somebody is watching from the Shire. So hello to Turtle 58008. We're so glad you're here. Blackwing Foundation, our friends, is tuning in. Hannah is up the road from me in LA. So y'all, literally, you can create an Express. We talked about Fresco. We talked about even Project Aqua, like the app,
Yeah.
the app that everybody's using, the new app for younger students. But as a coach in my district, I want to circle back to that point. Doodling, drawing, sketchnoting. I'm a visual learner. I wanted to see things. I see
Mhm.
pictures in my head. I internalize my learning. I was always drawing little things on the screen. That is absolutely something you can do inside of Express with this create a drawing tool. But as you said, we're pushing the limits because what you can do with the layers and the animation and a few little hacks inside this tool completely changed the game for
Yeah.
me. So, folks, if you're in
Well,
Express
and
or you're in a different tool, yeah, jump
one
in.
thing I want to say is we're pushing the limits without AI. I think that bit is really important to call out because yeah, we can go really creative and take things to a whole new level with AI, but we're actually going to go analog. Is
Yeah,
that definitely not analog, that would be pen and paper. But
yeah.
we're going to do this just with the drawing tools and the tools available in Express. So no AI being used in this session, and we're still going to create a really awesome project at the end of it.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that. So, again, folks, Inside Express, this is the tool we're using today. So, have fun, draw along with us, but we're going to simply launch from that homepage. and clicked create a drawing. Now, Nicole mentioned that we're not using AI. There are tons of ways you can use AI. It is embedded in this school or in this tool. You can generate your own custom page, whether it's a plant cell or, environmental scene or something. Your scholars could absolutely use that. So I wanted to say that I'm just keeping this canvas blank for right now. And I want
Mhm.
to point out a few things because Nicole, when I started playing with this tool and I started just clicking buttons, because I love to push all the buttons and play to learn, you have to notice all the different brush types.
Right? And they're from
See?
Fresco as well. They're such
Right?
good egg sharing.
Right? So I'm just doing like a slow scroll through them to show you transfer from like a basic tool over into multicolor to art supplies. There's even more like decorative style tools. And I want to point out this art supplies section because this French Impressionist one is one we're going to be using a lot of today. Also, this one is called Dirty Brush, which leaves like a little bit of like a jagged edge. I love
That's my
that. But
favorite.
what I want to do is actually just point out a few of the things. You can slide the size. Of course, you can choose a different color. I love playing and just kind of like having a little bit, maybe you'd say like a wee little bit of fun, right? To just kind of try some of the new styles. So, friends, if this is a new tool to you, literally like play with your students, play with your family, have an exploration and see what you can do. This cheesy one, pretty awesome.
Oh,
My
cheesy.
niece
Cheesy
uses
gets
this
so
all the
much
time.
love.
We use this one, right? So, like, I'm a leafy girl too when I'm like drawing something. So, I'm literally just clicking buttons right now to Nicole to show things, showing possibilities. But I'm going to go ahead and actually erase everything because what we're going to do is guide people through a landscape scene. And you're going to see a live demo from me, a live demo from Nicole, and then we're going to actually collaborate on a demonstration. And I'm going to guide you through this. I'm up first, so I feel like, do I stretch a little bit? Do I do my little spirit fingers, as Martine would say? But remember how I talked about these different art supply, different types of brushes? Come into this French Impressionist one because what we're doing is creating a gradient of a sky. We're going to create like a sunset background. And Nicole, you want to use the French Impressionist brush, and I'm going to bump it up to about like 500, 502, and change to be a red. I'm going to start with red at the top. And you can see I just kind of paint across the top and have a little bit of fun spreading it around, right? And now I'm going to choose an orange color. And I want to point out, folks, if you want a custom orange color, you can always click on the swatch and use that gradient tool. Use that picker if you want and have the orange color. I'm just going to stick with this one so that I can get it done. And I'm just going to layer it a little bit, come off the edges, etc. Looking pretty good so far, right?
Yeah.
My gradient.
I'm gonna
I
I'm
love
gonna
this
pinch
brush.
these.
Wait, what'd you say?
I'm gonna pinch these whenever it comes to my one later. You've
Oh
great
my God.
blended already, Anne.
They're so good. And Shell, our teammate Shell, is watching and she goes, wee wee. So I'm just channeling my best like French Impressionist painting vibes right now. So I'm just brushing across the screen and kind of like having a little bit of flexibility to it. And of course, I'm going to end with blue at the bottom. So I think I mentioned I'm going to be guiding you into this is going to become a boat scene. So I have sort of like this wave in this bottom layer a little bit, and that might
Mm.
come into play a little bit later. But check it out. This is the beginning of where we start building our layers. So, Nicole, what's a pro tip when you start a project? What do you need to do at the top?
Oh, you gotta get naming it, you know. There's
Yeah.
type A and type B people, those who have untitled 6 million
Oh my
all the
gosh, untitled.
time.
So I'm just calling like boat layer one. And now we have this drawing. And literally, I'm going to arrow back. You could click on that red or the colorful rainbow A and just get back to the home screen. I'm just going to arrow back because that automatically saved my project. And now I'm
Hmm.
going to do another one. Again, I could simply come here and create a drawing. Also, folks, if this is a new tool to you, you literally can come in here and just launch like the square or the landscape project and launch from the plus sign. But I just click on that tile every single time. I come right back into my menu. And now I need to build my first element that's going to become my first layer that I start stacking. So, Nicole, we're building a boat. All right. So here's my pro tip. You want to have a transparent background. So, folks, if
Hmm.
you've never played around and switching the background color, it's super easy. But I'm choosing this one that says no fill because I want to have this stack on top of that sunset gradient and the water gradient that I just built. Now, this is where we're going to come back to our art supply brush and we're going to use this like dirty brush. I love this one. When you and Meredith were kind of like guiding us through it, it has such good texture to it. I love that about this brush. And I'm going to bump it up to, I don't know, 233, right? Not too
That
big,
seems like
not too
the most
small.
accurate number to choose.
Feel it out, folks. Feel it out. And I think, Nicole, I was a first grade teacher, right? So I always think about step by step guided instructions for our youngest scholars. And I would say, draw just a nice little smiley curve, right? And then draw a smaller bottom below it. And
Hmm.
then you can simply connect line to line. Now, if you notice, I'm snapping those lines into place just by holding, and so it has a really nice edge to it. And then we need the mast, right? Where our sail is going to go. So you can
Hmm.
see, oh, I didn't do such a straight line. So watch this. I'm going to come to the middle, pull it straight down and hold it, and it just snaps into place. And folks, this is so easy. So right now, if you're creating with us, you're working on your boat, we definitely want you to share these with us. Tag us on the socials after. But one thing I want to do is now use this fill tool. And I love this because I can literally just drop that same color inside my boat and fill the boat. Now, if I want to go back and sort of fill in a few of the other like tiny little sections, if it doesn't get filled up because of the brush style, that's okay. You can go back and kind of finesse it if you want to. Now, I'm going to give this a name and I'm going to call this one my boat. Boat, 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 right? Boat,
Bodie McBoatface.
boating, my boat layer two. And I have saved it and I'm done. Folks,
Oh,
go back and reset yourself because we're going to do the next element. I'm also just pointing out, you can see right here in my recent panel, there's the boat layer, the background, there's the boat. And now what comes on our sailboat? We need a sail, right?
we
So
do.
I love this blue color, but I think I might want to play with it a little bit and kind of just get like, I don't know, like really bright boat. I like this tealy aqua. Um,
Hmm.
my niece is so into like turquoise right now, so I think I'm gonna do that in honor of her. Nicole, what's your
Oh.
favorite color? Like what sailboat color would you pick?
I would normally be inclined to go for purple, but I'm thinking like this is on top of a sunset, so you've kind of got like the red and the orange is kind of there. So I would want one that has a good contrast
Yeah,
for your
yeah.
background. So I'd maybe go green, blues, teals. They're good shouts.
I love this. So, hot ultra, like ultraviolet, like a hot pink, hot purple. That's my jam, but I don't think it'll vibe in the sunset. So I'm going to go with this turquoise. I'm going to pull straight down. And then, folks, what we're doing is like an oblong triangle that becomes your sail, right? So I'm literally just kind of like drawing that. I want to snap that line into place just to have a little bit of consistency with my lines. And then again,
Undo is your bestie.
I love just filling this, and I'm gonna come back and try and get back into like my custom color. See if I can match it. It was a little bit more teal. I could go, what if I use this eyedropper and actually grab that color
Yes, there we go.
and then I just fill it and directly match that color. So folks, play, have a play with those colors, explore, design your sail if you want to. Give it a quick title, sail, if I can type the word sail,
I've
layer
now got that song
three.
in my head. Sail.
Hey, Meredith is watching in. Meredith, you're the inspiration for this, my friend. So,
There he is.
folks,
Hype him up. Hype them up.
Yeah. Hope you're creating along live, but I'm just going to arrow back with this. And now here comes something really fun, Nicole. We need one more drawing. And the way
Mm.
this was taught to us is it's the bird, it's the seagull, it's the little
Mhm.
animal we're going to animate in the sky. So I'm coming back to this and I'm using gray for this. I'm coming back to that dirty brush. I'm going to play with like my brush style. I don't know. I might come a little bit smaller on this 165. And Meredith, add your pro tips in the chat, my friend, because I was telling Nicole when I was playing around with this, I need some pro tips on drawing my bird wings. So Nicole knows I'm just gonna kind of come out like this and
Yeah.
come out like this. That's fairly symmetrical, right?
Mm-hmm. It looks like pigtails and a silhouette, but
Oh
it's a
my God.
bird. For today, it's a bird.
And I think this is layer 1, 2, 3, 4. So I simply save this. Now I have all of this content ready. And Nicole, you mentioned we're not using AI. And so
No.
best practices for educators in the classroom who maybe are new to digital drawings or annotations or even the drawing tool inside Express, friends, start simple. Play.
Yeah.
Try the
Click all the
brushes first.
buttons.
You've seen us use a few. I've used, the dirty brush and that French impressionist one. And we're using layers to stay organized in this project. So all of these layers you will see as I begin to stack them on. And this also can help make, if you have to fix something or you want to change an element, there's no reason why you can't just go in and change that layer. So, Nicole, are you ready? This is where it's all going to come together, okay?
Born ready for
Okay.
this. I'm
So I'm
born ready.
checking in. Oh my gosh, our friend Timothy Cosgrove is here, our teammate Martha. Friends, we're so excited. And Martha just added like a super creative inspiration from our good friend and author, Peter H. Reynolds. Martha shared in the start with a dot and see where it takes you. And that is the message of Peter's book, The Dot. So here we
Great
go.
call.
Okay, I'm creating a brand new drawing, right?
Yep.
Actually, I'm going to go back. Sorry. I
Oh,
have my drawing. I have my boat layer. That's what I want to launch. So, friends, go back to that very first project that you created, and it's going to be displayed on the screen. And now we have the best thing. And I think I actually did it wrong. So, I'm going to take us back one more time. One more
poster.
time. One more time. I want to start from here. I'm starting a new project, and this is how I did it. Nicole, if you have pro tips, share it with us. I want to come into just a brand new blank canvas because I want to leverage your stuff. I want to leverage this little section of my project because as soon as I click on it, that is where I can access all of my files that I just created. So, if you were to launch a brand new drawing, you wouldn't have access to that section that says your stuff. So start a
Hmm.
brand new project and look what I'm going to do. Right here, I click on it and it gets added to that canvas and I simply am going to set it as my background. Automatically sizes, snaps into place. And now I'm going to start seeing my layers stack right here. Friends, if the layers close, you simply expand right there to see your layers. But let's start doing this. Your stuff. Nicole, that first thing I built right there, my boat.
The
And you know
best
what I
boat.
forgot to do on my boat?
A little wave, but it's all grand.
I forgot to do my wave.
We can show how you can update it afterwards. So how about that? It was
Check it
it was
out.
by design and you wanted to show people that your little drawing would update later.
I love
So
it.
you
And you
might
know why I like that I made that mistake? Because mistakes are totally okay. I tell my 7-year-old niece all the time, you can't mess up. Just keep creating. And I
yeah.
love this because there is a really cool way that you can refresh each layer if you need to. But Nicole, I'm going to start stacking things. I have my boat. I've kind of dragged and rearranged it and put it into place. I'm just kind of centering it in my screen, maybe putting it just off of center, coming back to my stuff, and I'm adding my sail layer. Now, I forgot to make that transparent background. No problem, friends. You can always use that remove background option and it eliminates the background. And maybe I want to like kind of just, realign this, have it set up a little bit, put my sail in place, and then again, come back. And I think what I really want to do is group those also, right? So I
Hmm.
want to click on my sail, I want to click here, and I'm going to group them. Now I have this as one element on my screen. All right. Nicole, what do I need to add next?
Well, now we need our amazing bird.
It
Bird,
is an
bird, bird.
amazing bird.
Bird is the word.
The bird is the word. And friends, you might be wondering, is that really a bird? I don't think it is, but you'll get the vibe. It's an outline of that seagull that's going to be flying here in the sunset sky. So Nicole, this is where we have to start doing some things. We
Yeah.
have set up our project, we have set up our layers, and I want to start doing some animations to these.
Yeah.
So what I need to do first now, I know, is set my sunset background. I resize my boat and I'm adding the sail and grouping it. But now I need to start adding animations. So when I come into this animations tab right over here, this one called loop, I love it because what we're looking for is this breeze, right? And
Mm-hmm.
check it out. Oops, why didn't it go? Here we go. Let me
Oh,
check
it
what
worked. It's nice and subtle.
did it. I need to turn up the speed and move things. The sail, did I not group it right? Here we go. Let's see. My sail is, let's come back.
So
Why
this is the good
sail
thing is
button?
we are having like sub animations, which is the great thing. You can click the whole group with the
There it goes.
little, there we go. So when
Yeah,
you're
and
clicking
that's
the
not
group,
even
there's
fast enough.
the little crosshairs in the bottom left corner will grab the entire group so that you could animate the whole group in one
There
go.
we go. Friends, do you
Right
see what
there.
she's pointing out to me? It's this bottom section right there. So I want to come in and my breeze, I think I'm just going to kind of play with the speed and see what it begins to be like. Now, that, Nicole, I did this
So,
last night. Why is it not
so
working today?
I'm going to talk you right through it because I had a refresher with Meredith. This is why he is the Welsh
He's
wizard.
the
So,
wizard, right? And Shelly Vernon in the chat. Hello there.
so what we want, you actually notice that the blue lines all around it are showing you that you're only selecting that part, even though you've already grouped it. You're only selected on this shape at the moment, this little blue bit. So whenever you're animating that, we just want the sail to blow in the breeze. That's great. That's what we want. But if we want to animate the whole sail and boat at the same time, we've got to click the little crosshair so that you're grabbing the whole group. And then we're going to do a bob for it because it's probably bobbing on the water.
There
And
it
it will
goes.
take the whole thing with it now.
That's
And the
a little
breeze
bit
going.
too fast also. So my little bob in the
Basic.
window, that looks like there's some rough seas going on right there.
Yeah,
But
definitely feeling nauseous.
I know y'all get the idea of this. And what I want to do now is talk about some of the tricks with the bird because this is a whole different way that we're actually going to make the bird fly. And when I saw Meredith do this, I was like, wait a second. I had not clicked those buttons before. It's even still kind of new to me as I keep playing to learn and leveling up my own creative skills. This is like one of those perfect examples where you're seeing new possibilities, right? So the bird is a different effect. That's the breeze effect, right? And Nicole, the settings change because look at
Mm,
these pin areas. This is a totally different thing. I'm going to just bump up the speed a little bit. The
mhm.
flexibility completely changes, the pin percentage. But look at these pin areas. What do you know about this? It pins it center, up, left,
Mhm.
right, and the bottom. And we want to
Yeah,
pin it on the bottom. My bird is having a little bit of a wonky flight, but it's flying.
flying bird. Take flight, little birdie. Take flight. Look at
Okay,
it
check
go.
it out. Check it out. Here's my preview.
Oh,
Y'all,
do you know
we're
what? It's
animating these pictures. This is how
like
my
this
boat is
dance move.
going. This is how my bird is going. I want to show you my example from last night because here's my
The Blue
animated
Peter
boat,
moment.
and you
This is
can
the Blue
see
Peter.
when I created the boat, I have the like waves in the boat, and this is the visual of how it looks. I'm just going to keep playing with this. But if you were to have sketched and used that same French Impressionist painting on the boat layer,
Oh.
and I'm going to just click into that, you can
Hmm.
see that boat layer as I move it. It has that extra blue layer, and that's how the like effect stays with it. So this is kind of cool because I had never even considered something like this until last month when Meredith showed us how can
Yeah.
you really remix like a simple drawing, the layers, the animations, and endless possibilities. And
Uh,
you're going to take us into a completely different demo. Y'all, this was hilarious to me because my finished product, very different today than it was yesterday, but it means I get to keep playing and learning. Nicole, not too bad, huh?
No, no, smashing it, friend. And I love that actually on your Blue Peter moment, the one that you did before that you practiced, and look, Anne saying, Meredith saying that he's loved it, Anne, is that you had that little blue bar at the bottom that
Mhm.
said your linked assets
Yeah.
have changed.
Yep.
That's because if you go back into your drawing and make any edits, like maybe go and like, change the color of your bird or go put some polka dots on your sail,
Yep.
and you basically update your project
Yeah.
that has all these layers in one place after you have changed your drawing. So that kind of option to do that is fantastic.
So
And
I'm
what
going to
I
show
think,
that real fast.
yeah, do.
And I'm going to come back and use this French Impressionist. I was up about 500 something. And all it means is coming back to this, I'm adding just this wave element. And then I actually used, there's like a splatter right here, the white splatter. And I made just some like wavy kind of like white foam. And then that right there, again, automatically saved. I don't have to go in. If I were to come back into that original boat, that is where we'll see my updated piece, right? So when I click on that layer, now I have the update of my boat and should see the update and it adds it to it, right?
Is it
So
boat one or boat two? Which one of your
yeah,
which one of your
I know
wonderful
right
files?
now. So, okay, cool. Well, listen, that's the boat, and it's literally the exploration of showing layers, a few best practices, friends. Draw first,
Yeah.
animate second, try it. Don't be afraid to try it and embrace imperfection and iteration. So, like what I just did in real time, it wasn't perfect. And if you're doing this in your classroom with your students, it does not need to be perfect, but encourage your students and help them build their own creative confidence because that creativity grows when they feel safe trying new things. So, Nicole, that was like a great opportunity to model embracing imperfection, right?
But that's what we have to do. Because I used to be a bit self-deprecating in front of my students and be like, "Oh, I'm not a great drawer," and I'm like, compared to 6-year-olds, 9-year-olds, something I probably am a very good drawer. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
want to build that creative confidence, and I'm going to take some of that energy for my next one as well, Anne, because actually, what I'm going to show is I'm going to show like a Northern Lights version. Did
Okay.
anyone see the really class Northern Lights last week? There were some like amazing views. Did you get them? Did you get them on your side?
Oh,
I know Meredith definitely saw some in
oh,
Wales,
so
but
cool.
they are my socials were filled with it. But this actually has been inspired by one of our ace innovators in the Scottish Borders, Suzanne Pritchard. So she made a fantastic playlist. We'll share all the links at the end of festive drawings, but one of them was Northern Lights inspired. And I actually did this with Martha when we were doing some ace leader call in December.
Oh,
And
so
I'm going to do
fun.
the same thing. I'm going to go in through our drawing tool. And as
Okay.
Anne said, you can go through the app here, the card on the home screen, or just search for drawing. What I like about this is sometimes you'll notice in drawing you can't resize the canvas when you're inside it, but this will give you either a square canvas or a portrait canvas. So there's how you can have two options. I'm going to stick with square though, but that's how you can get into it. So in our square canvas, for the Northern Lights, we're going to take, remember Anne's wonderful gradient background with the French Impressionist brush. We're going to do something similar to get like a nice starry night. And I know I saw Timothy Cosgrove pop in loving, I think, loving the gradients
Yeah.
in Express. So, but we're going to create our own ones because we're going, does someone say paper log? That's my new favorite, not analog, paper log.
I love
So
that.
I'm going to just scroll on down here and find and good brush for this one. I'll not use French Impressions. That is my go-to. Let's go watercolor.
Oh, that's a good one too.
There's no right or wrong way, as you know, so we're just going to fill in a little bit of this and a little bit of that and just cover it all up for what a night sky might look like.
All right, I'm creating mine too, Nicole. It's more
Yes,
continued practice for me.
that's it. And I just keep going over the top and like layering on top of it. There's no right way for this. And I'm like, oh, that's maybe too blue. I always say to my pupils, go to your bestie, undo in the top corners your bestie. You might want to go into custom colors. And when you go into custom, like drop the opacity a little bit so that you could put a lighter color on top or a darker color on top without like completely covering it up. And the main thing is we just need something that's kind of a starry night or a blankish sky, but with a wee bit of color, just a wee bit, not too much color, just enough. And I'm going to do the exact same thing that Anne did for her first layer, which is go up to the top and rename it. So I'm going to say NL background. Let's do that. And I'm going to go back to my home page and start again for my next layer. Now, this one, I'm going to give a shout out because I know she's in the chat. Martha gave me a great tip for this one. Because we want to have no fill during this next part, but we're going to be using really light colors for the Northern Lights, and it's really hard to see if you have no fill. So
Yeah.
we're going to have like a background color for now that we'll take off later. So let's go for a black background color. We're going to
This
take it
is
off
such a
later.
good pro tip to actually see the light colors. So folks, if you're wondering like why, like watch what she's about to do. This is a pro tip.
So we're going to look for, there's an airbrush in here that is, I've gone past it already. There's an airbrush that's super fine. It's kind of got like a nice little, there we go. It's kind of got like this nice little like glow around the side of it. And we're looking for like the Northern Lights kind of go, like the Aurora Borealis goes like in ribbons and like lines up and down. And this is where we're also going to use Snap to Shape that Anne was showing earlier. I'm going to drop this size down. I can always tell it's a bit too big. And like hold up, hold your click, hold your tap, and do a line. And I'm just going to show you the difference here. So that's it with the black background on. But if I had no fill, can you see where that Northern Light is? I cannot see a thing. So having this for now is really helpful to have a background on. And we're just going to do different versions of Northern Lights colors. And actually, what might be helpful is if we have like a little squiggle. And this little squiggle is what we'll just draw along, just doing lots of lines of different heights all along this little line. So I'm going to get all my white ones in first. I'm just going to do them at different heights, different lengths, over and over. Some of them you might want to snap, some of them you might just want to do quickly. You kind of get into a groove, I find. Or if you do ever want to change them, use your keyboard shortcuts to undo or go up to your bestie.
Yeah, my
Once you've
best
got
to get that undo button.
my bestie, and I use that one all the time. I'm going to go in now for some of this like really light blue in the swatches and do the exact same thing. Just line up alongside it. And I'm just going to go beside all my white ones now and go over and over. And they're just going to be in different lines. You can thicken up your brush if you want to get through it a bit quicker. But you know what? This is nice chilled Friday evening vibes for me
This
over
is
here.
so cool because so many people around the world have been enjoying the Northern Lights Aurora Borealis. We didn't see it. I saw something on social. People could see it in Joshua Tree National Park in Southern California, which is my
Ooh, that would
favorite
be
place on the
beautiful.
planet. And I almost got up in the middle of the night to go try and see it.
That would be
Oh
gorgeous.
my gosh, someday.
Whenever you don't have light pollution all around you, eh?
I know.
So now I'm going in with some purple. And again, I'm just following this like little ribbon of like staircase that I've made and just going along all these lines. I am just going to start to get a bit quicker now to fill in all of my gaps. Again, choose whether you want to snap the shape or not. And then the last thing I'm going to do is try to show a little bit of vibrancy for some of them because right now they're all kind of the same flat matte color. And so I just want to go over some of them on like an extra layer of it. So I might just like go a bit more on top of that one. Do you see how now it looks like that bit looks a little bit brighter? Just lift, gives some of them a little lift and just going back in on top because you know that as the solar flares happen, comes in big bursts of waves. And whenever we start to animate this part, that's what we're going to really want to see come through is like some of the brighter parts. And that's just by using the airbrush on top of each other twice. Because the first bit you'll notice there is like you can kind of see through to the black. And then when you go over it again, it kind of like covers it right up. So your last bit is just to go in and do double lines basically. And when you're done, thanks to Martha's top tip of using the black background, we're now going to take that black background off. So background color, no fill, and you can see we can just about make it out. Kind of look like birthday candles. Anyone have a
I
January
know,
birthday?
I know.
And I was nearly going to call it candles. So we got my Northern Lights, and I'm just going to say foreground for this one. Done. Okay, so I'm just working with two layers for now, because I'm going to show you another thing that you can do for drawing. We could go into poster and resize our poster to be a square, but as Anne showed earlier, go into this plus and find in the 1-to-1 square. It's the same number, like it's actually maybe one click less. So that's the default that we have for it.
Every click
And
matters.
yeah, that's it. We're now going to go to your stuff. I love the repetition of this skill. We're really anchoring like this is the process for creating some types of animated layers. Put in my background image and I'm going to set that as my background. Same thing that Anne did for the boat. Back into your stuff. I'm going to bring in my Northern Lights now and you'll see that I can't see that I've got no fill in there. So that one worked really well. Now what I'm going to do is just kind of line these all up. I'm going to just take up the full bit for it here. And now what I'm looking to do is to go into animation, go into loop, and find one that's going to look like the Aurora Borealis is having a big flare and booming around. So when you hover over, that's not subtle. When you hover over all of these options, ooh, you can kind of see a little preview of them and work out which one might work really well for this. Um, and whenever you hover over, I think Breathe does a nice little version of it. You just need to make it
Yeah.
less intense. Oh, here's a new one, Turbulence. Ooh, Turbulence is what your sailboat had.
Ah, it sure did.
Turbulence is a new one for me there. We've got some blur going on. So you can choose, I think wind works quite well if we drop down some of the flexibility in it and drop it way down enough and we'll just have it going like maybe up and down a little bit like so. And maybe we'll go, we don't want to get rid of them all together. Maybe we'll go down to a little wiggle and have slow that way down, drop the intensity. Choosing. Let's try the one you had, Anne. Remind me, was it Breeze? Let's try
Yeah,
Breeze.
bees.
And let's do the pin at the bottom as well and see, will it stop taking off on us and we'll go up like so
Oh, yeah.
and change our flexibility. Again, this is just dragging your sliders up and down, seeing which one kind of gives you like a little bit of what you need for these to be booming around. The pin percentage then is to do with like, again, if you imagine you have like a safety pin or like a drawing pin for your notice board, but you imagine you have a really chunky one, that's what the percentage is. It's like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So you just drag this up and down for how much, and you'll see how like it actually reduces the amount that's going to be moving. And then just once you've got it, you'd be quite, chill and happy with this one. Let me go from the from here and go really flexible. Let's see, yeah, maybe too much. That's nice and gentle. Do you know what would be great is going in and putting in some audio and maybe like recording a
Oh,
mindfulness little track for
I
this.
love that.
Getting students just to like create their own little calm, happy time. So happy with this one. One thing I want to show you on top of this that Suzanne does an absolutely sensational version of this on her drawing tutorials is that she goes and puts in like trees and a stag and things like that on it. But you can do that from within here if you're only going to use one type of brush, just by going to add content, elements, and when you go over to shapes, you can draw your shape. And then you could just draw in some of your trees on top of this, or a really fun birds, Anne. I know you love the birds, so you could put your birds in over and over. But you could draw here as well if you really wanted to, or go back in and do your layers over and over again. So that is our Northern Lights option. And
Nicole,
I'm
the
just,
idea of using the elements to add in the animals in the foreground, the trees like a tall pine tree, but light layers of them on either side. These landscapes can come together in so many ways. It's absolutely gorgeous.
I will show you the quickest preview.
Yeah.
Like look at that. That's what Suzanne leaves us with is like options like this. So it's
So
just
cool.
gorgeous. So what I'm going to do now is I want to collaborate with you, Anne, because we are
Okay.
across time zones, we're across globes, we're doing an Adobe Live, and let's do one together because that's
All
actually
right.
something just ask all the time. Can you collaborate with drawing? Here's a way to do it. So I'm going to go, we're both going to do a drawing. So we're both going to go do a drawing each. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring it into the same project to animate it together. So what I would love from you is let's do one for space because I think space is fantastic. Like we've had Northern Lights and we've had boats. Maybe we can do a collaboration. This could be for multiple students, but seeing as it's just the two of us, let's do the Earth and the Moon.
Love it.
I'm going to do the Earth. You can go with the Moon.
Okay.
And all I'm going to do is just hop in to create a drawing. And I'm going to use my hard round brush first to get my circle. And I cannot draw a perfect circle on a Mac. So I'm going to try, let's redo that one. Let's undo that. Let's try again. Let's try better, Nicole. Ugh. No, no, that's still squoval. Let's go one more time. Let's go round. Finish it. There we go. Look, slow and steady, slow and steady. Keeping it going. Ah,
Oh, and I'm working on my moon. Look at that.
so now I cannot tell you that I have a photographic memory of planet Earth at all. So what I'm gonna do is draw in some like squiggly lines for where things would be. Some things are down here, like so. This is maybe over here. And we'll do something over there. Okay, there's something that might resemble the Earth. I'm going to turn on coloring mode. So up at the top, we've got this little option here, switch on something. And I'm going to go and choose this like spiked brush because it looks like really blue. And when I use this spiked brush, I'm coloring all over the place, but I'm staying inside these lines. So same as our coloring in pages and
I
templates,
love that one.
filling it all in. Let's go tubular. Doesn't sound like a real word, does it? Let's go
Tubular.
tubular. Let's go tubular for the land here. Filling it all in, just like so. But I'm staying inside these lines, which again, great for those little learners, maybe particularly if they're using mouse skills for the first time. Gives them that little bit of confidence that they have a bit more control to show off their creativity and their ideas. Okay, this is looking gorgeous. There we are. My earth is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my background is no fill. But again, as Anne showed earlier, if we forget this, we can use remove background in our project. And I'm just going to rename this Earth. How's your moon coming along, friend?
Well, I'm working on it. I'm actually on my second moon because I decided I changed the brush style I wanted to use. And I'm just adding a little flair to it.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see this. So whilst I go in and start a new project, I'm gonna show you how I would collaborate with Anne on this. So I'm going to go back into this plus, and do you know what? Let me go in a different. Let me go in with creative video. Let's
Okay.
go in here. Because I can go into any project, any file in Express here, and whether it was poster, a square canvas, or the video one, and collaborate with you. And all I want to do is I'm just going to copy your address here. I'm going to go up to invite to bring you into my project.
Hey, while you're launching that, I want to share a special shout out to Shelly Vernon and her son who are watching right now. He is loving and having so much fun leveling up his drawing. So, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for creating along with us. We can't wait to see all the new things you're making. So, Shelley, we're stoked you're tuning in.
Oh, I am buzzing about that. Do you know what? That calls for sound effects. Love it. All right. I've added Anne into a video project at the moment because I know I'm going to be doing some animation in here. I'm going to go over to my stuff, your stuff, my stuff, our stuff. Go over to here, and I have found my planet Earth right here. Not perfect. Oh, hello, Anne Cosma, whizzing
Hello,
around
I'm
my
on your
screen.
canvas now.
Get out of here. No, don't stay, please, forever. So what I'm doing is I can see with my earth here, it wasn't perfectly in the center, so I'm just going to like crop in really close to the circle that I've got here. This will make sense later. Oh, there we go. When I get this like diagonal line, I know I've got like the square. I've hit like the perfect four by four, 1 by 1 or four-sided bit. There we go. Lining it up in the middle. And now Anne's going to bring in her moon.
All
So she,
right, get ready. This is the second moon. There it is.
oh
And
yeah, check
hey,
it out. Look at
if I
those
shrink it,
craters.
if I shrink it down, now I've added the moon.
Those are great craters, and you got the dark spot of it really well. Well. Like Anne paid a lot more attention in sci it would be science or geography that you do a lot of this in. Let's say
Third
it's one
grade
fund
solar
that's over
system.
here. So what I'm going to do is we want to have like these rotating, we want to have some movement going on. So I'm going to click on my earth and I'm going to go to animation. We're going to go looping and we're going to go to spin. Now, the earth does not spin that fast. We would be all very sick if it was doing that. So again, click it another time and you can start working out the intensity. Way too dizzy. It feels like I'm on a merry-go-round. A nice and gentle one. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good.
Personality, personality for it. You know, we have an energetic moon or an energetic earth, I would say. So find out what each of them do. I notice some of them, like it's the way it spins, it speeds up and then it goes and then it goes. The direction is fine for me here. And I'm going to do the same on yours, Anne. I'm
Yep.
going to click on it. We're on the animation loop already. Go to spin and let's have a little spinning moon. Now, if I was just to play our video like this, I mean, that's cute. We've got two spinning, but what I really want is I really want your moon to spin around my Earth. So to do that, we're going to group. So I'm highlighting everything, grabbing it like this, and then I'm going to go up to group. And now I'm going to spin. So I'm going to spin again, and you'll see how the moon is now going with the Earth, and it's also got its own spin, its own rotation going on as well. Is it scientifically correct? NASA aren't going to endorse this part, but it's pretty nailed on for
But
this concept of explaining that we have rotations going around in our solar system.
okay, and Nicole, even if NASA doesn't endorse it, the idea of taking these drawings and adding these animations, literally any scientific concept, your diagrams, your drawings, labeling parts of a plant, the Earth, solar system, like body systems, right? The animation piece can literally add like the why behind it. And you know,
Boom.
kids could use one of those animated characters or the voiceover or Adobe Podcast and add their voice explaining the scientific concepts step by step, right?
It's like you just read my mind, you know, multimodal learning at its finest. Now we could go in, as you said, into animate a character,
Yep.
go in. In fact, you can see what I was doing most recently with some
Yeah.
superheroes.
Love it.
You could go in, why not get the sun to start narrating what's going on here, or the cloud? You bring it in, start recording to tell us all about your facts about the solar system. As you said as well, and you've got you could also record yourself into it. You could also go and
Yep.
use the enhanced speech is also in the voiceover going into audio. And we can also go find like maybe is there something like calm and spacey. Like I kind of think like planetarium sound effects. Sounds
Oh,
like we're at a
yeah.
spa. Those
And
would be good
folks, as she's
options.
looking for that, literally anything could become a mini explainer video, right? So, like, and then demonstrating, Nicole, how we collaborated. All you did was share my email. So if there are collaborative projects, it's a simple process. But like those scientific themes. Everybody could draw part of the biome or part of a system and bring it together and express um,
Yeah.
cause and
And what,
effect. If then, what happens? How does this change?
yeah.
I mean, there's so many possibilities.
Endless. And also probably a good thing to show from the homepage is this was where you found
Mhm.
the invitation to join. So up in that little notification bell is where it says, Nicole wants to collaborate with you, Anne. And then that's what you were able to click to join the fun and to get in here with me. And we could keep building this out. We could go on and do our next page, do our next scene, so on and so forth to really collaborate on something. So you could have a whole class eventually
Yeah,
collaborate and show each part of maybe it's an animal that they're doing, so on and so forth. You could have some mega collaboration going on without using any AI.
I
We
love
didn't
it.
need any
I
for
love it.
today's session.
A cool alternative way to think about it too. And Nicole, you referenced some of those resources earlier. Do you want to
Mhm.
talk through some of them? Because folks, hopefully you saw tons of new possibilities for what you can do as you're literally we're sketching, we're drawing, we're doodling digitally, and then
Yeah,
those layer tools and animations completely transform. So we have some great resources for y'all. Nicole, talk about this right here because this is a
yeah.
phenomenal resource.
Again, this was a massive shout out to Suzanne Pritchard from the Scottish Borders, one of our ACE innovators. So she created these 10 festive drawings, but you can apply these skills to any time of the year. Like I've just done for the Northern Lights silhouette one. There are so many great tips in here, and they get progressively more challenging in skill. So start off at number one. This is slightly easier. By the time you get to the Christmas wreath, we're doing a lot of symmetry and things like that because you've got great symmetry tools in
Yep.
the Express drawing as well. Check them out, see how you could apply it. Like maybe you're not going to do a geometric polar bear, maybe you're going to do a giraffe, a puppy, who knows? But really great little tips in here from Suzanne for you to check out. Speaking of snowflakes, what
Ooh.
else have we got? There's a snowflake guided activity. So over here, try fun guided activities. Keep scrolling on down. If you see it, shout. Ta-da!
This is such a good one.
Here we go. Draw a symmetrical snowflake. We know we love the guided activities. Having that universal design for learning principles right there where you've got tutorial steps, you've got support available for you. Ah, mine just bit. There we go. Let me go in here. Where'd it go? Let me go back. Reboot. Let's go back down. Guide activities.
I
I
mean,
know it's right at
even
the bottom.
talking about the symmetry with the mathematical concepts that come up and that sort of language, you literally just toggle on or toggle off um, the reflective and rotational symmetry. But Nicole, as we're coming close on time, I know there's a couple other resources we want to share, and we
Mm.
actually put those video playlists, and there's another epic video playlist. Um, Shout out to Deborah Adams. I know she recently resurfaced this. It's over on our teammate Dom's creative YouTube. So we have all of these linked for you over in a post at edu.adobe.com. But talk about these ones real fast.
Oh yeah, these were done with some of them are with Meredith because you know the Welsh wizard, the gift that keeps on giving, but also with Kyle who used to be one of the evangelists on the team. So again, they're kind of looking at that like 7, 8 year old plus. If you're new to drawing, it's a great place to start for whatever age. But this one and this one, letter art, is actually where I start because it's
Oh,
very similar to what you did at the start, which was just put loads of brushes on the
yep.
canvas. So
Yep.
that's a great one just to actually get started. I would go to lesson 9 get started because letters work for any topic. And again, you can see they're no more than 10 minutes. Really short, impactful. You could watch it. Your students can pause at any time. Super great videos. And again, as Anne said, it's over in edu.adobe.com as a little post, which very silly of me didn't have up to show it. It's on my other tab. Let's just hop in. Another thing that we have is that we have a couple of announcements to make, things that are coming up that you want to let people know, particularly over in the States. There's a deadline looming, isn't there?
I know, y'all. We have a dynamic community, folks who are in the chat in classrooms all around. Our Adobe Creative Educator Innovator applications are currently open through the end of January. So our ACE innovators are those creative leaders, collaborators, storytellers who are using Adobe tools to inspire student voice, building community, and shaping the future of what creativity and education can look like. We would love for you to apply to become an innovator. And if you're maybe not ready to apply for that, we have a global community, our ACE Leader program. We have all of these resources linked in that dynamic design resources post in our community forum. Nicole is showing on the screen. But we do want to call out, please get connected. Learning with and from each other is the best. So it's literally folks sharing best practices, ideas, encouragement, ideas from community for community. And we're so glad that you're a part of it. And then y'all
Yeah.
save the date. February 7, our global Teach Meet is coming up. That's Saturday, February 7, in the morning in the United States, the afternoon over in the UK. And Nicole, there's another really cool webinar you've got coming up. Why don't we
There is.
end with that?
Yeah, I'm really loving art these days, apparently. So I'm going to be collaborating with the arty teacher and our friends at Trilby TV to show the love of art. So I'm going to do Express art drawings, and Sarah from the arty teacher is going to use Adobe Fresco. So if you're ready to look at, okay, well, what can we do next? Then you can sign up. That's also in here. Anne's popped it in. So you can also join me for that webinar, and you can watch it on replay if you can't join us live due to time zones and other commitments.
Ah, time zones, you know. All right, folks, thank you for tuning in for this Adobe Live Education Edition. Hit subscribe on that button. Continue learning here with the Adobe Live community. There's so many great live streams and opportunities to up-level and upskill your creativity. Nicole, epic drawing, doodling, layers, designs, animations with you today. The possibilities are endless. Folks, thanks
Oh,
so much for tuning in. Nicole, thank you.
thanks for having me, friend. Peace, love, and hugs.
I'm going to fly out like the bird.